Proving a defective product liability claim. If you used a defective product that caused injuries, you could have a defective product claim. However, when it comes to evaluating your claim while you prepare your case, it may be helpful to make yourself familiar with some factors that could help you prove your case and ultimately win it. Although what you need to prove tends to vary between states, product liability law generally asks you to prove the following elements. You sustained injuries or you suffered losses. The product you used is defective. The defective product caused your injuries. You were using the product exactly as it was supposed to be, or intended to be, used. You sustained injuries or you suffered losses. You may have been alarmed that you used a defective product, or you may have experienced anxiety afterward, but if you cannot prove that you have a physical injury or you sustained a monetary loss, you will be missing a very important element in your claim. What this ultimately means is if you did not sustain an injury, you are unlikely to win your defective product liability claim. The product you used is defective. You will need to prove that the product you used and were subsequently injured by is defective. This may not always be an easy thing to do, but it can depend on the type of claim you wish to make. If you were injured due to a manufacturing error. If you would like to claim that you were injured because of a manufacturing error, you could find that proving this is not difficult. If you were injured due to a design defect. If you would like to claim that you were injured because of a design defect, even if the product was manufactured properly, you could find it difficult to prove this. You may have to demonstrate to the court that the design defect made the product unreasonably dangerous. However, you may not be able to claim that the supplier or manufacturers are liable because the product is dangerous. For example, let's imagine that you dropped a sharp knife and you cut the top of your little finger off. In this case, the manufacturer of the knife is unlikely to be found liable because you knew that the knife was sharp, but you were prepared to use it anyway. If you were not warned of a hazard. If you can show the court that a product has a dangerous quality and this quality isn't obvious to a consumer, your case could be more successful. However, liability could depend on whether the supplier or manufacturer sufficiently warned you of the dangers. Warnings can typically be found in the product's instructions and on its packaging. The defective product caused your injuries. Although you may insist that the defective product caused your injuries, you will need to demonstrate this to the court and show that your injuries were caused this way. For example, let's imagine you were digging and the spade snapped and part of the spade went into your leg, causing injuries. You will need to prove that the defect in the spade caused the injuries while you were using the spade. You were using the product exactly as it was supposed to be, or intended to be, used. If you were using the product exactly as it was supposed to be used, then you may win your claim. If the manufacturer or supplier of the product reasonably expects consumers to use their product in the way that you used the product, you may satisfy this requirement. Consider hiring a lawyer. If your claim meets all of the above elements or you think it may, you should consider hiring a lawyer. Every case is different, but if you think you have one, please speak to a product liability lawyer as soon as you can.